right, welcome, folks. A little bit of a tight start. This game, ball fouled away. My name is Tyler Borbo, bringing the play-by-play action of this game. Ball hit in front of the pitcher and thrown out at first. A lot of catch-up details to bring you. That batter leading off for the Lee Wildcats, being hosted by your Pioneer Panthers, is Cassidy Clark. She's the catcher. You'll see her frequently behind the plate during the bottom of the innings. And pitching in the circle for the Panthers is our own Jalen Beliski. Now batting for the Lehigh Wildcats. Ball popped up back towards the backstop. Maggie Tippanyuk will not get there in time. There's a little bit of space back there, so she's got room to run, which means getting underneath some of those balls fouled backwards are a tough task, but if anybody can do it, it's going to be Maggie. Yeah, with a 1-1 count, this is Lauren Schur hitting a grounder over towards second base. Kiara Gruskowski gives it a scoop. A little too much of a scoop. Goes off the glove of Lucy Burnham. And Schur is safe at first on an error. And so, as I was speaking earlier, my name is Tyler Borbo, bringing you the play-by-play action of this game as I adjust the camera. So happy to have you with us. Ball gets passed. Schur is going to take second. And just like that, the Wildcats have a runner in scoring position with one out. And ball grounded right through. Second baseman picks it up, throws it over to the easy out, tossed home to make sure that Schur stays on third. But a worthy sacrifice to get a runner in a better scoring position, even if they have two outs. I apologize. Yes, Schur is on third, and that was a sacrifice hit by Kayla Clark. And now batting is the center fielder for the Lee Wildcats is Lexi Ciavola. Ball comes through on a strike. Do believe it's a 1-1 count. We'll wait for the umpire to clarify. There we are. Two down, runner on third. Ball comes in high. Nice snag, keeping it in front of her by Maggie Tippanyuk. And so happy for you folks to be with us. I'd love to bring this broadcast to you if you can't make it to the game. But to be honest, there is nothing quite like being here at this game. It's a little bit of cloudy, a little bit sunny, nice and warm. Perfect day. Ball drops in, tossed over to first. They get their third out without anything being put on the board. And just like that, we're off to the bottom of the first inning. We're going to take a short break. I'll recalibrate a lot of details myself, and when we get back, Pioneers leading batters, Layla Goulston, Lucy Burnham, Kobe Tominski, and Maggie Tippanyuk. Coming up in just a moment, check out our sponsors, and we will be right back here on BNC TV. look, folks. Clouds certainly parted, creating quite the glow. I'm going to have to go and fix that when I have a moment. In the circle for the Wildcats, pitcher Kayla Clark. Let's meet in there. Layla Goulston trying to go for a surprise bunt, goes foul, losing that surprise. She's now going to have to protect with an 0-2 count. And comes inside, gets past. Count goes 1-2. But as I was saying earlier, always a pain when the action cuts into the jargon. But so happy to have you folks here. It's a beautiful day to be out here for this game. But whether it's work, whether it's distance, whether it's any other amount of things that can get in the way of being out here and enjoying some high school athletics, so happy to bring this game to you folks here on BNC TV, whether you're watching this live streamed, live broadcast, or later on. Count goes full for Goulston. Goulston plays center field for the Panthers. But yeah, so what a way to spend an afternoon, especially a Friday afternoon. Ball fouled outside of the third baseline. But, after a day of being inside with some of the rain, there's nothing quite like being out here in this mid-60s, beautiful sunny afternoon. Count remains full. And Goulston's pitch. And fouled. Outside again. See the new home run fence that we have out here. Coach Fortier spent some time last week laying that out. And fouled up. Well, Kayla Clark doesn't want to give her something too easy to hit. Goulston's got to protect. One of them's got to make something happen. Count is full. And that one goes to the outside. Goulston will take first on a walk. Now stepping up to bat is the first baseman for the Panthers, Lucy Burnap. Goulston safe at second. Burnap with a strike one on her. Pioneer coming into this game with a 2-4 record. Burnap with a hit over to second base, gets the easy out at first. Goulston advances to third. So with one out, we have runner in scoring position on third. Kobe Tominski stepping up to bat. She'll be looking to have an RBI. And ball gets away. Goulston takes off and scores on the wild pitch. Pioneer on the board. There we go. One ball for Tominski. And a strike in the bottom inside corner. And a little too inside for the umpire's liking. 2-1. Oh, long throw for shortstop. Gets overthrown. That's going to be called dead. Tyminski will only get one base advance on the overthrow. But that was a tough snag for the shortstop. Had to go opposite of the bag and then make the turn. And, you know, you're not really thinking about it when you look, but when the ball is coming to your right side and your glove is on your left side, having to do that turn away from the bag and then turn towards first and make the throw, it's a tall order. But now we have Maggie Tipeniuk, catcher for the Panthers. Sent over to third. And thrown out. But that gets Tyminski. Oh, she is safe. Excuse me. Everyone's safe. So you got runners on the corners. And looking at a pinch runner for Tipeniuk. And that is Abby Fortier taking first base. So now batting Jalen Beliski. She's starting the Panthers off in the circle. One strike for Tyminski, and with runners on the corners. Let's see if we can put another player in scoring position for pitcher's indifference. And we have two runners in scoring position now. 1-1. Beliski chasing a little bit of a high one. Count goes 1-2. And fouled over towards the bleachers. Count will remain 1-2. Goes inside. Her 2-2 count. Beliski being protective but patient. And ball had a little bit of English on that. Beliski goes down watching. I think we all expected that last pitch that was going further towards the outside than it did. And big swing by Riley Goodwin. Riley Goodwin is playing left field for the Panthers. Goodwin fouls down just outside the third baseline. And good connection. Ball drops into left field. That's going to drive at least one in. Abby Fortier turns, and that scores two. 2 RBIs on a beautiful single hit for Riley Goodwin. Excellent job. That was most certainly Goodwin's pitch. Just waiting for that one to come in. Put it right in some open grass. Pioneer takes a 3-run lead. And fouled away again. Stopped by Coach Fortier on the third base. Outside line. And that one drops to the outside. This is Kiara Griskowski, by the way, playing second base for the Panthers. A little high and away. 2-1 count for Griskowski. And drops a little too much to the outside. 3-1 count. Ball knocked into left. And Kiara Griskowski with a solid double, driving Riley Goodwin over to third base. 2 players in scoring position again. Beautiful hit. Nice job fielding by Haley Hankey for the Wildcats, getting the ball in there. She knew she wasn't going to be able to get underneath it in time, so good positioning to pick up the ball and get it in quick. And that foul that we just saw is by Evie Lewis. Evie Lewis is playing right field for Pioneer. Grounder hit over to shortstop, thrown over. And that is going to be it for the first inning. And with the Panthers putting 3 up on the board, they've got themselves a 3-run lead, 3-0 as we go into the second inning. We're going to take a short break, check out our sponsors, and we'll be right back with more softball action right here on BNC TV. welcome back. There we go. That's a better color. Hey. Top of the second inning. Pioneer putting 3 up on the board in the first inning. And ball drops into shallow right field. That's a solid single for Allison Schurer. Starting things off in the second inning, third baseman with a solid base hit. And this is Maddie Blair. She's playing first for the Wildcats. Goes for a bunt. Couldn't get the geometry right on it. Swing at it, ball gets loose. Sure, safe at second on the steal. I think it's and good hustle. Good hustle by Maddie Blair. Beats out the throw. And Sure takes third. So we got runners on the corners now with no outs. And now up to bat, Haley Hankey. She's left field. And Blair takes second. I apologize. I have no idea what the count is. Let's see what the umpire says. Oh, there's at least one strike now. And another strike. So I know there's at least one ball. 2-2. Thank you. Thank you, umpire. 2-2 count for Haley Hankey. Ball comes in low. Count goes full for Hankey. And another one comes in low. Bases are now loaded. We've got the tying run on base now. No outs in the second inning. So you'd go back to a 0-0 ball game real quick. And no doubt needing to have a short meeting. But coming up to bat is number 23, the right fielder, Bridget Guinan. Bridget Guinan is batting 8th for the Wildcats. Just to give some perspective on the number of outs and where we are in the batting order, is that we are dangerously close to the meat of the Wildcats batting order coming back up, and having bases loaded is not a place you want to be with that. And another one fouled away. High and away, 1-2 for Guinan. Popped up and snagged by Lucy Burnett. Was at the ready looking for that bunt. And all the other runners remain. So we still got bases loaded, but one down. Pioneer staying alive so far with the shutout. And we got Olivia Guinan now batting. Olivia Guinan is playing second base. And right in there for strike one. Nice pitch by Jalen Beliski. Strike on the inside. Ball definitely backed up Guinan a little bit. I think she thought that was going a little more inside for her liking than it did. And caught looking. Pioneer got two down with bases loaded. They're slowly crawling themselves out of a very dangerous situation of no outs and bases loaded. But we're back to the top of the batting order. Cassidy Clark, catcher for the Wildcats. Pitch comes in high for ball one. Of course, the instructions for the Wildcats are run on anything, so at the crack of the bat, everyone's going. Right down Broadway for strike one. Good connection, but fouled away into the hill. 1-2 count for Cassidy Clark. Well, I think that was fouled away. It must be, because if it was a swing and miss and the ball got away, she would have that kind of like, steal first kind of thing that they do. I apologize, I don't recall the name of that. Ball comes in a little bit high, 2-2. Clark pops it up. Burnap goes to the fence. Down on her knees, makes the snag, and gets them out of a very dangerous situation. Pioneer manages to maintain their 3-run lead as we go into the bottom of the second inning. Lee High School was knocking, but couldn't put anything on the board. We'll see what happens at the bottom of the second inning. We went through the whole batting order with the Panthers last time, so we're back to the top with Layla Goulston, Lucy Burnap, Kobe Tominski, and Maggie Tippanyuk. We'll see what they can do in just a moment. Check out our sponsors, and we will be right back. apologize. I don't know why it didn't do it. Oh, technology. So, a little bit of snafu with the music still going. We are back. That was Greta Lewis batting that popped up to Cassidy Clark, the catcher. And so there's one out. Back to the top of the batting order with Layla Goulston. Glad I noticed it early. Fans of BNC TV and Pioneer Athletics know that entire innings have been gone with the in-between innings music playing, so I'm happy I caught it early. Yeah, that one comes in high. Not exactly sure what the count is, but we'll get caught up. 0-1. Goulston digs for it, drops in just beyond the pitcher's circle, and manages to outrun the fielding. Layla Goulston is safe at first with a big hustle. And now batting Lucy Burnap. On the outside, Goulston takes second base. Runner in scoring position. One out for the Panthers. Now with a big cut. Dangerous steal, but Goulston's safe at third. Oops. The 1-1 count. Ball hit over to third base. Tries to go for the easy out. But Burnett beats it out and run scores. Everybody's safe. Pioneer puts another one on the board, bringing their lead 4-0 in the bottom of the second inning. Intermittent clouds rolling through, bringing in that dark and light coloring in there. It's hard on the lens. And ball popped up to first base. We'll see Burnett needs to tag up, but Kobe Tominski flies out. And with two down, runner on first. Stepping up to bat, Maggie Tippanyuk. Maggie Tippanyuk had that base hit last inning. And ball manages to get through in between the shortstop and third baseman, so everybody's safe. Burnett advances to second. A solid single for Maggie Tippanyuk. Pioneer stays alive with two outs, runners on first and second. Now batting, pitcher, Jalen Beliski. And doing another pinch runner with Abby Fortier. Maggie Tippanyuk, we've been seeing do a great job behind the plate for the Panthers. No doubt needs a little bit of time to put her gear on, especially with two outs. And beautiful hit over to left field. It's fielded in. And Burnap rounded third and takes home. Fortier on second. Nice RBI single for Jalen Beliski. Beliski's had a great game so far. And Riley Goodwin with a foul. Not sure what the good count is on Goodwin now. Ball down and in the dirt. Two and one for Goodwin. Nice hit over to third. Scooped up by the shortstop. Abby Fortier waved around. She'll score. And we got Beliski trying to take third. No one's there to get the ball back there, so she's got the wave. And Beliski takes third base. And Goodwin stays on first, so we got runners on the corners. And another one in. Pioneer now leads 6-0. When did that's going to bring up Kira Griskowski. Takes strike one. And finds the gap, heads over to right field. Goodwin is going to take third. And that also drove in Beliski from third. So Pioneer just racking them up on the board. 7-0 in the second inning. Runners remain, new runners on the corners. Ball down in the dirt. And Griskowski takes second on pitcher's indifference. Oh, excuse me. I shouldn't have hit that. And a nice snag there by the third baseman. So to close out the inning, Allison Schur getting that last out. But Pioneer racking them up on the board during the second inning. We'll make a few corrections. But when we come back, top of the third inning, see if the Wildcats can get those bats moving. Last inning, they left things with bases loaded, so they're knocking. We'll see if they can get themselves on the board and back into this game. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, more of this varsity softball action. You're watching this right here on BNC TV. All right, welcome back. Top of the third inning. Pioneer loading four more onto the scoreboard, bring their lead 7-0. The first pitch fouled away. do believe this is Lauren Schur. Big hit in the center field. Layla Goulston gets herself underneath it. Snags that first out. Nice job, Layla Goulston. Good move getting underneath it. And with one down, next up to bat is Kayla Clark. Kayla Clark fouls it. Lucy Burnett gets herself underneath it. Pioneer with the hustling, getting both outs, getting underneath some high flies. And with two down, that's going to bring up Lexi Ciavola. And a nice snag. Almost didn't get to that. But a beautiful snag. 1, 2, 3. Pioneer gets those outs. One of the quickest innings I think we'll see this year. But Pioneer threw the pitches right. Batters liked it. Popped the ball up. Pioneer got underneath it. Did a great job with the fielding. Let's see what happens after we go to into the break. Nothing else added to the scoreboard. Take a look at our wonderful sponsors that have partnered with BNC TV to bring you this spring sports season, both softball and baseball. And we are going to take a short break. When we come back, Pioneers back up to bat. Don't go anywhere. More softball action coming your way in just a moment. Welcome back. Bottom of the third inning. We are back to Evie Lewis starting us off. Oh, quite the dark cloud coming through. Well, grounded foul down the third baseline. A good bat on ball. Think it's 1-1. Yep, 1-1 count for Evie Lewis. She gets a shove ball. Excuse me, 2-1 count. And like that high one, drops into center field, gets past the center fielder. Evie Lewis is going to turn first and go safely into second. She's rounding it. She's going to make her way over to third. Take a turn and look. Beautiful triple for Evie Lewis. Good hustle. And now batting. Wait. Nice catch by the right fielder. Lewis tags up, and, well, okay, I was slightly off. That was Greta Lewis, excuse me. Greta Lewis had the triple, and Greta Lewis just scored, because that was Layla Goulston with that sacrifice fly out to right field. So I was a little bit mixed up. I was reading the numbers wrong. Instead of number 22, it was number 24. About a beautiful triple for Greta Lewis, and run batted in on a sacrifice fly by Layla Goulston. And with that, that is going to bring up Lucy Burnap. And very nice little drive. I almost thought it was caught in the air, but looked like it was a nice little bounce right into the pitcher's glove. But that is 2 down for the Panthers. This is Kobe Tominski. Tominski sends one over to third base. Long throw, beats out the throw. Tominski is safe at first. And now Maggie Tippenyuk up to bat. She's had a great game. And with the crack of that bat, that heads over into center field, and a nice snag by Lexi Ciavola. She closes things out. And so Pioneer puts one more on the board. Put things up to an 8-0 ball game as we take a short break. And check out our wonderful sponsors, and we will be right back with more varsity softball action right here on BNC TV. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Top of the 4th inning. This is Lauren Schur. Ball fouled away. Pioneer with an 8-0 lead. They've just been crushing it these past couple of innings. And fouled away. For an 0-2 count. And if you did indeed check out our local sponsors in between the break, I'd like to talk to you about them. Sam Browning Jr. Trucking, Sweet Lucy's Bakeshop, and third strike dropped but thrown over for the first out of the top of the 4th inning. But Sam Browning Jr. Trucking, Sweet Lucy's Bakeshop, Works LTD, the tree experts, Wiggin Hydroseeding, Zilinksi HVAC, and we'll talk about it more in just a moment. Nice throw by shortstop Kobe Tominski over to Lucy Burnap at first. Classic infield play. What a great job. And that's 2 down for the Wildcats. And now batting. I believe, let's see if that number is correct. I think this might be Haley Hankey that we see up to bat, number 17. It's an 0-2 count. And goes down swinging. That is the 3rd out. Pioneer makes quick work. Again, in the top of the 4th inning. Nothing put on the board. Pioneer back up to bat, get those bats going like they have been. We'll see what happens. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, more softball action. Don't go anywhere. Bottom of the 4th inning. Pioneer with an 8-0 lead over the Wildcats. Now batting. Well, I could be way off on this. I think that's Jalen Beliski. That's up to bat. Unless that's Lucy Burnett, but I'm pretty sure that's Jalen. I apologize. Beliski over to shortstop. Beautiful throw. Beats out the throw. Beliski turning on the Jets, making it to first safely. Nice base hit. Yep. That is Jalen Beliski. I was right. And looks like there might be some. Is there lineup changes? What am I seeing there? Well, this could be Molly Guin going in for Riley Goodwin. A big hustle over to second base. Beliski out at second base with a nice throw from Cassidy Clark. Action always happens while I'm trying to write book down, so I have a feeling Molly Guin is going into left field for Riley Goodwin. So if you're trying to keep book at home and you've lost all hope trying to follow along with my announcing. That is the best I can give you. Molly Guin substituted for Riley Goodwin. Molly Guin is number 10. And a 2-1 count for Guin. And there's one out. No one on base. Ball grounded just outside of the pitcher circle. Thrown over to first. Second out of the inning. Nice fielding by Kayla Clark. Sent over to Maddie Blair at first. And that is going to bring up Kiara Gruskowski, second baseman for the Panthers. Well, comes in a little bit high for ball one. Big pop-up just behind the plate. Easy snag for Clark. And that is going to be all she wrote for the fourth inning. Pioneer. The first inning of adding nothing. The game still remains an 8-0 game as we go into the fifth inning. Lehigh, see if they can make something happen this inning. Check out our sponsors. We will be right back. Welcome back, folks. Fouled away on the first pitch is Bridget Guinan. And another one fouled away. Count quickly goes to 0-2. And a short pop-up into the infield. Jalen Beliski hurriedly gets underneath it, gets the out. One down in the fifth inning. Next up to bat is Olivia Guinan, second baseman. Pitch comes in high and away for ball one. Good eye on Guinan. And if you've been checking out those sponsors, as we've been talking about, we're trying to fit them in between plays. Without those local businesses in the area, in the Bernardston-Northfield area, surrounding areas, without those businesses, we wouldn't be able to bring you these sports like this. So happy to partner up with those local businesses. So thankful to with their help being able to bring you the spring sports that you've been seeing. And Guinan goes down looking. 2 outs. And that means we are back to the top of the batting order. Cassidy Clark is doing an excellent job as the catcher for the Wildcats. That one goes in right as a strike. Do believe it's 1-1. Tad high for the umpire's liking. 2-1 count now for Cassidy Clark. I'll foul down the first base line. And fouled back into the woods. Count remains 2-2. Good protection by Clark. High and away. Count goes full. And good protection. Another foul into Souvenir Country. Clark doing what she can to stay alive, protect that strike zone. That one comes in low. Clark will take first base. Now with a runner on first. Now batting Lauren Schur. Is chasing for it, knocks it through into shallow outfield. Goulston tries to recover and get the throw out at second, but nice hustle by Cassidy Clark. Runners on first and second. Wildcats shaping up to have fun with 2. We have Kayla Clark now stepping into bat. Ball comes loose. Both runners advance into scoring positions, so second and third with 2 outs. Ooh. And gets the out after a tough time on the fielding, but managed to snag it. Nothing else put on the board. Bottom of the 5th inning coming your way. We'll see what happens. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Varsity Softball. Lee Wildcats versus your Pioneer Panthers. Live on BNC TV YouTube and on 1075 HD on Xfinity. Don't go anywhere. More softball action coming your way in a moment. bottom of the 5th inning. Checking a few details in the book. This would be a perfect time to go and change the lens, but so thankful to have you with us. If you're tuning in, whether you're tuning in, of course, into the Bernardston-Northfield, the Pioneer Valley Regional School District, or you're tuning in out in Lee, Mass. So happy to have you with us. Happy to bring this broadcast to you. We love what we do. We love bringing these sports to folks, no matter where you're watching it. Happy to have you supporting public access, but, of course, more importantly, supporting these high school athletes. First pitch comes into the outside. And this must be Evie Lewis. That one comes in low. And almost snagged by the shortstop, dribbles into the grass. That's going to be a stand-up single for Evie Lewis. Not a bad way to get things started off with the leadoff batter, and that is going to bring up Greta Lewis. Greta Lewis had that beautiful triple last inning. Evie Lewis stealing second. Nice job. I think it's 1-0. Fouled away. Going down the baseline. Looks like it stayed fair. Everybody's safe. With runners on the corners. Boy, those are tough ones. No one's going to get there in time, and you're really crossing your fingers that the ball's going to go foul. But, you know, when the ball in the dirt kind of has a mind of its own, and it stays fair, you're going to have to make something happen. So back to the top of the batting order, Layla Goulston. Pops it up into the infield. Big snag by Clark. Everyone stays. That is one down. Lucy Burnap now batting. Ball comes loose. Runners are going to go home. Evie Lewis evades the tag. Good check by Greta Lewis, but good field awareness by the Wildcats. Runner scores, but holds Greta Lewis to second base. So ball one for Lucy Burnett, and another one crosses the plate. Pioneer now leads 9-0 in the 5th inning. Burnett tried for the surprise bunt. Ball went foul. Nice try, but those are tough to snag when you're running backwards like that. Greta Lewis takes third base. We're back to runners on the corners. Nice base hit by Lucy Burnett. Lucy having a great game. Kobe Tominski. Ball goes foul. Pops up, lands down the baseline, and goes out. Ball comes in a bit low. Burnett takes second with ease. No contesting. Ball hit to short. Overthrow. That's going to be a dead ball, which means one base only. Another runner scores, I believe. I actually can't remember. Ball sent into the outfield. 1-2 runners score. And that was Maggie Tippanyuk with an RBI single. So that is one more. There we go. I think that is accurate. And I think that is calling the game on a mercy rule. So Pioneer ends things with an 11-0 mercy win. And I'll make sure that that gets changed. But Pioneer showed up, had their bats moving. Did a fantastic job with that. And we saw from the first inning, Pioneer was just moving. They got those bats going, got on base, hustled, and got that score. And just managed to make things happen. And I would say can't say I wouldn't have been worried when we saw bases loaded with no outs at one point during the second inning. So Lehigh was looking very, very competitive, but Pioneer kind of snapped into place and just didn't let go for the rest of the game, shutting things out and walking away with an 11-0 win over the Wildcats. Pioneer did a fantastic job. So with that, it's spring break for the kids, but BNC TV rolls on. And of course, with spring break, there will still be more high school sports happening even during the week off. So you come Monday, and of course all of this is weather permitting. Pioneer baseball, the boys will be hosting Turner's Falls on Monday, and that'll be at 4 p.m. And I guess it's all baseball next week. Softball will be on the road or on vacation, but either way, they'll be off of the softball field. So that is it for softball for at least a week, at least for BNC TV coverage. So baseball has that game against Turner's Falls on Monday, and then they'll be right back here at high noon for They will be hosting Weston High. And I don't think Pioneer has ever played that school before, so it should be an interesting game, one that you don't have a lot of details, and that can usually shape up to be an interesting game. There's not a lot of speculation you can make on the history between teams. But we'll be bringing you that action all next week, Monday and Friday. Nice way to bookend the break, and hopefully for good weather so that we can bring you that baseball action. But the next time the girls will be out here will be I think, possibly on the 28th, when Drury comes to Pioneer. And, of course, most recently, Pioneer took a solid win at Drury with 10-5. And, of course, all of this details on paper. A couple of past games, didn't have a chance to talk about it. But, Lee fell to Mohawk, fell to Drury. Pioneer beat Mohawk, beat Drury. So just on paper, with that comparison of win-loss, you can see how things came together today. And, of course, the latest game for Lee was a big win against Gateway earlier this week. And, of course, that game against Drury was earlier this for Pioneer. That big win against Drury was Tuesday. So Pioneer the girls softball is looking at a solid 2-game winning streak so far. But with that, all those details aside, so happy to bring this game to you. Not a bad way to spend a Friday afternoon. But that is it for us here at Pioneer Valley Regional High School softball field. My name is Tyler Borbo. Thank you so much for stopping by, tuning in, and we will see you next time.